Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our LunaYou Thursdays here on Facebook Live. I'm so happy that you guys are able to join us every Thursday as we talk pregnancy in a pandemic, in and out of a pandemic. And we're so happy to be in this space and to engage with all women who are navigating pregnancy in this time. And so that's what our Thursday lives are about, talking about various subjects. Sometimes it's just me, or sometimes we invite experts in the field to really help us navigate from breastfeeding to well being to assessing stress and how to handle and manage stress and mental health and wellness while pregnant. So this is a knowledgeable resource that are also on our website, www.lunayou.com. So if you're new to this, and if you're new to our Thursday lives or new to our LunaYou page, welcome. We're just so happy that you guys are here. What LunaYou is about, our tagline is a maternal well-being program designed for you. So who is you? You is any mother that is expecting, any mother that has recently had a baby, any mother that is a part of this circle of support. And we're going to talk about that today. We're talking about circle of support and how as pregnant women, it's important that we have that circle of support, and that we engage with those, and we'll define like what that is and what that looks like. But LunaYou is a maternal well-being program that is designed to help a woman's well-being. We have done research up and down, and we have identified 7 patterns of wellness to really help a woman to have better health outcomes. The research is bleak in terms of health outcomes and maternal outcomes for Black and Latino women. Black and Latino women are 3 times more likely to suffer from birth complications and even mortality in childbirth. And this is 2020. Like our healthcare has advanced, but why is this statistic still soaring, and why is this still the problem? And so here's LunaYou to help in some type of capacity to really help to reduce that number and make sure that each mother is well by focusing on various things like activity and nutrition, also looking at your sleep patterns and how you're sleeping at night and how you're engaging with others, identifying circles of support, which we're going to talk about today in your life, and then also create that peer-to-peer mentorship to really help each other, because we know that has great outcomes as well. And so, and then coupled along with the well-being coach, myself, where you're getting weekly check-ins, however it is convenient to you, all that coupled together, our goal is that your outcome increases and that your health outcome increases while pregnant as well, and that we can reduce any type of loss of life or any type of birth complication by enhancing your well-being. And so we're super excited. If you know a mother that would benefit from this program, please do them a favor and introduce them to us. Send us their name or their info, and we'll be sure to contact them or reach out to them. And so right now we're focusing on Rhode Island right now. So if you're pregnant at any point, or we focus on any point of your pregnancy or 3 months postpartum. So we would be super excited to help you, have you join our circle of support. So that's what we're talking about today. Circle of support. Circle of support. No matter whether you're pregnant or even not pregnant, it's important to identify what a circle of support is in your life. So a circle of support, what we like to call in LunaYou, is that core group of people that are around you. So there's 2 definitions. So that core group of people that are around you, whether that's your family, your friends, close people that are around you that you can count on to support you. The whole purpose and goal of LunaYou is to have you be your own advocate, right? To be very self-sustaining, not just a program coming in and doing things for you, but it's important that you have the power and that you are at the center of your own pregnancy, and that you grow from the inside out. Your voice is growing from the inside out, and you're able to properly advocate for yourself. A part of that advocacy is identifying who is your circle of support. As a mom myself, I know how hard it can be. Like, you cannot parent alone. To the conclusion that I have made, and this is me, I'm coming from a single family household, and my mother, she didn't even do it alone. You cannot do it alone, and it's important to identify a circle of support around you to really help and to help you in concrete ways. So one of an example that we do at LunaYou is we sit and in one of our sessions, we first create SMART goals. So SMART goals is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, accurate, sorry, specific, measurable, yes, accurate, reliable, and timely goals. And so those set of goals that we have are very concrete, right? And so let's say, hey, I want to spend, let's say a mother is like, hey, I want to spend like 2 hours of alone time with my child, and they have another child at home. That means that there needs to be arrangements for the other child to be cared for as well. So whether they have a partner, a family member, a close friend, who do they need to talk to be able to support them and to be able to support their emotional well-being? Or I want to be sure that I do 30 minutes of alone time each day. So you still have your child and you still have your baby and you still have those responsibilities and those needs that you have to fulfill, but who can you call on to help you to ensure that you meet your goals, like that 30 minutes of well-being time? These are important to our overall health and our overall well-being. So we identify people in your life that um, might be of help to you. And that can be hard. That can be hard because a lot of us, we don't want to ask for help. We don't want to go about it. We don't want to do those things. But it's identifying in specific ways where it's like, hey, I really need to take a nap. Can you do X, Y, and Z? And being very specific with the ask and how we need to do it. And most people who are support in our lives are beyond happy to help in some type of concrete way. Even asking for space or privacy in this time, especially as we're practicing social distance and saying, hey, I definitely want to see my family and friends, but now is not a good time. Babies can't wear masks. If you recently had your baby, I would just need some privacy, or I just need some time, some space to just kind of be and to acclimate to motherhood. That's totally okay. You're specifically asking for what you need and desire in your life, and ask in a specific way to specific people what you need. And if space is what you need, and that's going to help your well-being, space is something that you should advocate for, and it's great. Um, and then also another side of circle of support is peer-to-peer support. So in LunaYou, one of the things that's great is because we can have peer-to-peer support with each other, with the other women in the program. So peer-to-peer support, and research tells us that peer-to-peer support while pregnant is a huge makes a huge difference, right? Not necessarily in comparing yourself, like, okay, how big is this child, or how big is this mother's belly, or what type of nursery do they have? Not in that way, but having peer-to-peer support with like people has exponential increases on our overall well-being. To be able to talk to someone that is going through the same things that we're going through at the same time, it will be huge for your overall well-being, and identifying that and having that. Each month for LunaYou, we're going to start having those month-to-month engagements with each other in terms of talking amongst one another and getting those tips, best practices that tend to work and to really help each other throughout this time, because pregnancy isn't easy and we need the support of other. It's important to say, like, yeah, I tried this, but this didn't work for me, or yes, I did this. And to be able to hear the stories of other people is really important. So you're able to say, like, wow, I feel the same way. Like, wow, I didn't feel too good when I first had my child, or yeah, like that's the same feelings that I'm feeling. And that ability to not feel alone is really important. There's a research article on there, and all of our resources will be on our website, where it says one-to-one peer support during pregnancy and after birth can have a number of interrelated positive impacts on emotional well-being of mothers. Peer support is promising and valued intervention, and may have particular increases for ethnic minority women, or those who are recent migrants, or women experiencing multiple disadvantages. And so it's really important to really have that peer support, to really lean on each other. We had the honor of doing a songwriting session with Darden Smith. He was absolutely amazing. It's actually on our Facebook page if you want to go back and listen to that. But with some of the women in the program, they created a song called Mother to Mother. And the whole premise of the song is how we need each other, mother to mother, to support each other, to be there amongst each other. The women in the program talked about how just having each other made a world of difference in how they feel postpartum compared to this is one of the ladies' second child. So compared to that, to this point now, where having someone close by, having someone to talk to that is going through the same thing in the same timeline as they has made a huge difference in their well-being and outcome this time around than the first time when she had baby. And that is so exciting and that is so important. Um, so also it's how we look at our well-being, we have to look at like our emotional well-being and how we're able to navigate as mothers, whether we're pregnant or we've had our child or whatever that looks like, we have to look at that. And so I like to compare this. I like to compare it to two different things. I like to compare like yourself as like a cup or yourself as like a bank account, whatever. I'll use the cup analogy because it's just great for this. So if you look at yourself as a cup, you want to be filled up, right? You want your well-being cup to be full so that you're able to pour out that well-being onto your children, right? So you want to be able to have a full cup of well-being. And lots of times that's really hard to do. And so I saw this awesome image from thinkingthroughparenting.com that really kind of nailed this and drove this home for me in terms of looking at well-being and looking at how do I focus on that and how do I ask for the things that I need to ask for from my circle of support. And so one of those things, there's different things that should be in your cup that need to fill you up so that you're able to pour out to your family, your new baby that's coming, yourself, in the work that you do or whatever that you're passionate about, that you can pour out into it. So one of those is your own voice, and how you can nurture yourself. Like, do you feel heard in your relationships? Do you feel heard when you go to the doctor? One of the things that we test in LunaYou from week to week is your like how do you feel in terms of respect and equity? Do you feel heard? Do you feel like you're being overlooked? Do you feel that maybe some disadvantages that you have in life or some oppressions that you have in life make you feel treated less than somebody else? That's important. And so feeling that you can be heard and feeling that you have that voice to speak up for yourself is important to your cup of well-being. So we're going to definitely put that in our big cup of tea. And I wish I had my cup here and our big cup where we need your voice. You need your voice. You need to be able to speak up for yourself and be able to do that. And in LunaYou, we talk through ways to do that on your own behalf. The next is creativity. Have you been creative this week during this time of quarantine while you've been pregnant? What things have you created? Do you set time aside time to be able to create in your life? You know, you've done something so magical. You have created a child and you have a child living inside of you, or you are a mother, and that's amazing. But are you creating? Are you continuously creating? Are you continuously pursuing your passions? And is creativity in your cup? What about self compassion, right? Being gentle with yourself and having grace with yourself. Although we talk a lot about goals in LunaYou, one of the things that I stress and I can't stress enough is the power to give yourself grace, the power to forgive yourself easily, the power to say, okay, these are my goals, these are my circumstances, and I might not have made my goal that way, but I can still obtain my goal in a way that is meant for me. So to be gentle with yourself, to have grace on yourself, to say, you know what, I'm pressed towards the mark. I want to breastfeed. Let's take that for example. I really want to breastfeed. I really want to breastfeed. And you have that. Let's say your baby's having complications, latching on, tongue tied, whatever it may be. How can you to do that? Whether that's implementing, if that's supplementing with formula, if that's working with a lactation coach, if that's taking herbs, whatever it is that you need to do to get to that goal, you can get to that goal, but being easy on yourself, because everything is not linear. Everything does not just go to a straight line. Things in the background kind of happen mumbo jumbo, and we may not see that, but that's okay. We can still get to our goal. The next is contributions. Our contributions to your goal. Do you feel that you are contributing to your family or to your world in a meaningful way? Do you feel that, hey, you are, and you probably are, you're holding and housing a baby. You are somebody's mother, and that's amazing and that's great. And so identify the ways that you are contributing and celebrate those ways. A moment of celebration is really important. Another one is limit setting. And so we talk about this because it's important as we go through, is to protect your well-being. I love this a quote from one of our mothers in LunaYou. She's like, I have to protect my well-being at all costs. And that means setting limits. And so setting limits is really important. Boundaries should be in your cup of well-being. Setting those boundaries of then saying, like, to your circle of support, like, hey, I don't feel comfortable, or hey, this is how I feel like if I go back out into the world, that I may be judged, or I may be this, or I don't have things under control, or things are just seems like they're not happening like I thought they were gonna happen. But to set those limits and to set those boundaries and to say, like, this is what I want to do and this is what I don't want to do, and to be okay in owning those things. The next is physically nurturing. And this is why it's important. And we know, and we stress this a lot in LunaYou. The first 25 women in our program get a Fitbit and a blood pressure cuff, which is really important because it helps to not only track like their fitness, their cardiovascular activity, their sleep patterns, but it's really overall about their wellness. They're able to track their blood pressure and have their own numbers to advocate for themselves. And so they are in control of themselves. They are in control of their body. They are in control of saying, this does not feel right. And I have the numbers to prove. I have been walking. I have been active. I have taken my blood pressure and it's low or it's high or whatever it may be, or it's normal. You have those numbers to back you up to go into that office and to advocate for yourself. But it's important that you take your health into your hands, and that in our cup of well-being that we have physical nutrition and physical nurture. And so we're down to the last two. So our cup is almost full so that we can be able to pour it out to the next. So the next one that we have is personal capability. What are you personally capable of? And how can you do it? And it's good to address that. What is in your powerhouse or your wheelhouse to be able to pour out? What can you do? What can't you do? What is outside of that? And how can you protect your well-being in it? And so it's good to talk to say, like, okay, you're not a super, you may not be a superwoman, you're a superwoman just generally, but compared to like what we see on TV or what we see as like a superhero coming out, you don't have to be that, right? So what are your personal capabilities? What can you do and what can't you do? And that's important as we go on about this time. And then lastly, as we look in your last, what rounds out our whole cup that we have here is our relationships with others. And this is where that circle of support and that peer-to-peer relationship come in. This is a part of our well-being cup, and it's what helps us to pour out to other people and pour out to our children, pour out to our family. And if you're not rounded out with peer-to-peer support or relationships with your family or support, it's important that you do come a part of LunaYou if you're pregnant, so that we can help you identify that. No one can live this world alone, and no one can and do this parenthood thing alone. It's a tough task. Pregnancy isn't easy, and that's why we're here to support at LunaYou. So I hope that you guys gain valuable information in terms of emotional well-being, a circle of support, and peer-to-peer support. All of this is found in LunaYou. And if you have any type of questions, be sure to send them in the chat. We'll be sure to answer those questions for you, to have that with you, to be sure that you get that information. We're super excited that you are joining us. Join us here every Thursday as we have top experts in the field that are helping us in talking about pregnancy, in through all stages, and talking about emotional well-being. These will also be made available as like webinars and seminars on our website in the future, and we're super excited to be offering those really soon as like classes for women. So we're super excited for this time. If you have questions, please let us know. I'm just grateful to be here. So we end every session the same way. You are magical. Be sure to remember that you have a cup of well-being. What are you putting in that cup? And you want that cup to overflow so that that overflows into other people in your life. So you are magical, and always remember that. Thank you guys for joining me today. Have a good rest of the day.